The federal government on Tuesday declared that the prices of food items nationwide will crash soon, based on its commitment to ensure food security through the use of new farming techniques in Nigeria. It disclosed this in Abuja at the 48th Annual Conference of the Soil Science Society of Nigeria, and the Minister of State for Agriculture and Food Security, Dr. Aliyu Abdullahi, while speaking at the conference, said the government is fully aware of the current food crisis in Nigeria. But in his words, and I quote, "We are putting all the efforts in place to ensure the availability of food across the country." The minister stated. Abdullahi explains that the government was exploring various indices to ensure food security, working to ramp up food production by returning Nigeria to a sustainable food production system where the country will be engaged in all year-round farming. Have you heard of that scheme, all year-round farming, even when out of season, during the season? And it says we are fully aware of the current food challenge in Nigeria. The problem is what we met on the ground, right? If it's available, it's available. If it is in our local palace, we'll say if it did, if it didn't did. All right, so, but he said, but we also know that even if it is available, it has to be affordable. We're already planning for the next dry season, having learned our lessons in the last one, and we want to make a huge success of the next dry season farming. So for those of you who are close to where you have easy water, please take advantage of all of that. You're an agro expert. Please let's get your thoughts on this statement.
Okay, I think that's very commendable, but I'm a bit worried whenever I hear this issue of we're doing something, we are putting things in place. The people should be patient. My dear, since the commencement of a Nigerian democratic era to date, Nigerians have been patient with our government. Nigerians graduated from the point of being patient to the point of enduring. And believe me, Nigerians have entered the level of long suffering, and we are crossing there. And once Nigerians cross the level of long suffering, I just pray God should save us. So the issue of putting things in place, fine, is a good one. But for how long? We heard that government, and I know that government is a continuum. But it's so shocking in Nigeria, especially of course, not just the APES government administration in Nigeria, both state and local government level, all inclusive. Once somebody emerges, assumes office, you hear that when we entered, this is what we met. We didn't see this. We didn't see much. We have upgraded the system from where it was to a new.
So let me cut you there. Sorry to cut you there because of our time. There's something I really want you to touch regarding this, since you're an expert in agriculture. One of the problems we have in Nigeria, which is the hunger we've been screaming about, if the agricultural sector is arranged and, productive, we will not have that big problem.
Sure.
I mean, we have lands, we have farmers, we have people who are ready to do these things. So let us talk about the challenge that you guys are facing. What do you want the government to do? Agricultural experts, what are you calling for?
Fine and good. The government should set up industries, create an enabling environment that will make agriculture to thrive in Nigeria. That is the paramount thing that the government needs to do. And then the Federal Ministry of Agriculture should be up and doing, because I know that the Ministry of Agriculture has units across the states. Now, the Federal Ministry of Agriculture should try to monitor what goes on in the various state parastatals or agencies, that the sub-unit of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture that are situated across the state. They should find out what happens there. For instance, some of the things we read, some of the things we see online, some of the things we listen to on news and all of that, those of us in Niger Delta, those of us in South, we hardly see them. I mean, farmers within this area. So the Federal Ministry of Agriculture has a role to play. Now, leaving that particular terrain, the issue of engaging the core practitioners. AGAN, for instance, which is one of the agricultural associations that I belong to, is found across the 36 states of Nigeria. Everywhere in Nigeria, we have AGAN, unit of AGAN, and we have different agricultural groups. Now, these are called professionals. These are farmers that are ready to complement the effort of the government. They are grassroots personnel. They came out from a place. They understand the agricultural requirement of their area. So government should be able to engage these professionals that will now help probably the aged farmers at the grassroots to improve on agriculture. Now, if you don't have enough personnel, how do you think that whatever intervention or policies you're making, you're proposing or enacting will be effective?
All right, so saying that that's the agro experts in the Niger Delta are not really feeling or having the impact of some of these policies that they're saying they're carrying out, or some of the things that they are giving, right?
Yeah.
Is it a problem of communication, like it was earlier mentioned? Is it that these farmers are not aware of the existence of these grants or maybe loans or policies or movements? Is that the issue? Or is it an issue of it not even getting to them via the distribution?
That's all you've mentioned, part of the issue. I've heard of some farmers, I met some of them at the Bank of Agriculture then, and then I overheard some of them we heard there is a loan like this. At the other part of Nigeria, they are assessing some of those facilities, but here in our own zone, that those facilities, they have visited the banks, and banks is saying this, you need to see the conditions that are being given to these farmers and all of that, So that's part of the challenge. At times, these things comes in and then is not assessed, is not easily assessed by those that are supposed to assess them.
Have you assessed any loan or grant by the government since you started practicing?
I wish. I have not. Even when we brought government to our establishment some years back, and I can still recall vividly, then the Commissioner for Agriculture was like, wow, you mean this kind of thing can happen in this state? There is something like this? And we were requesting for a kind of government support. We have not gotten a dime from government. All we do is, self-help on individual level. Even though
you have tried to access these funds that are available, that we hear are available?
No one have not assessed, and people around me have not assessed.
So what have you done? What have you people done about it? But when I say you know who I'm talking about. The agricultural graduates now.
Well, just like what is happening in Nigeria, if we go beyond the issue of writing proposals, seeking for audience, and trying to communicate our initiative to the government, and probably gets to the point of maybe adopting another measure, they will target protest or whatever. So we are still.
It's your right to protest.
Of course, definitely. But we're still at the stage of trying to write directly to the government, from the local government level down to the state level, even NDDC. We have been making frantic effort to ensure that, because there is so painful that we have people that are ready to do the job, but the government. Of course, not when I say the government, this part of the country, especially South. Our governors in this area seems not to be keen in very well into agriculture. So it's a major challenge.
That's not what we hear in the news. So that's not even what we got yesterday from all of the reports when we were told about, even when the Senate president was talking about the moves that the president has made right here in the Niger Delta. In fact, statements were made that nobody in the Niger Delta would want to say they want to protest with everything that the federal government has done for them.
So where are they? Where is the effect of those things? President, we have proposed to even the state government. We have proposed to state government to allow our association, just show us a land. Don't pay for the manpower. We are ready to, to practice. We are ready to grow some agricultural, some crops. We are ready to do some things to help the State Minister of Agriculture to upgrade itself. The same thing we are doing, so some of our colleagues in other states are doing. But, when it comes to agriculture, we in South here, Niger Delta Zone, it's like agriculture is not something that should be ventured into by the government. most of our government agencies here, our governors, you see some of them make statement, bogus statement, very, appealing, statement, agricultural blueprint. But when it comes to practical, when it comes to, the real thing, you don't see them implementing. You don't see them implementing. Right. So it's a major challenge here for us.
It's something that we definitely would have to talk more about.